Okay, let's talk about one of my new favorite series of all time, and I bet you can't guess what it is. Ready? It's Heartstopper. Okay, so first of all, these graphic novels are some of the purest things I've ever read, ever. I honestly am not too big of a graphic novel reader and never really have been. I've read the odd like Marvel or DC comic here and there, and I've read Watchmen and Blankets and a few OV for Vendetta, just a few like well-known graphic novels, but really never perused the genre besides any recommendations that were given to me. So this is the first time that I actually read like, I think a series start to finish that is in graphic novel format. I've read a few of the Sandman books as well, but again, I kind of read them not out of order, but I definitely have not read every single book in that series. Needless to say, this did not disappoint, and I found myself really in love with Charlie and Nick's love story. I really appreciate how beautifully this captures like that teenage love spirit and also like the mental health struggles that come with being a teenager, a gay teenager, etc. Overall, this really left an impression on me, and imagine my surprise and shock and delight when I found out it was turning into a Netflix series. Okay, I just lied though, because I found out it was being a Netflix series and then read it afterwards. So I was so shocked and surprised, more because I wasn't planning on reading them this year because there were so many other books that I wanted to read beforehand, but I just kind of moved them up to the top of my TBR and promptly read them before the series came out on Netflix, and that's what I'm here to talk about today. I was nervous to watch the show. Based on the trailer, it did look good, but I think that book to movie or book to TV show adaptations have a history of either being really good or really average or like slightly subpar. And I didn't want the Heartstopper series to fall victim to that, the latter fate. I wanted to see it come to life. I wanted to be a faithful rendition while also being creative and having fun with it and just being like original and lovely. I will say though, I have recently watched some amazing adaptations. I think that Shadow and Bone is an example of a series that was actually better as a TV show than as a trilogy. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a solid trilogy start to finish, but it's a little bit too YA for me, and I think that the show does a good job of connecting it with the Six of Crows duology and making it like really fun and adventurous and action-packed. I also really liked Normal People as an adaptation, even though I have not yet read the book. I will probably read the book at some point, but I've heard that of all the adaptations out there, that was probably one of the stronger ones as well. Another book to screen adaptation that I really enjoyed was Into the Wild. I know that's an older one obviously, but that was also one that I think was engaging, and I like the filming style of it and the editing. I like the casting that they had and the soundtrack as well. So I feel like it's totally possible for book to movie adaptations or book to screen adaptations to do a good job. It just requires a lot of different facets. So you need the perfect cast, the perfect soundtrack, the perfect writing, the perfect dialogue, the perfect filming and editing, and you know what? Heartstopper had all of that. I think it truly did succeed in every possible way it could have. The casting was perfect. I literally didn't know that you could get someone to match a graphic novel character so perfectly, both in looks and in personality, and yes, I am talking about Nick. That was like the most faithful real life rendition of Nick ever. Like even the other characters, they did such a good job choosing who to portray each character, not just in terms of their looks, but in the delivery of the lines and the performances. I think they all really had that like Gen Z, dry humor, youthful vibe, and did a really great job selling that on screen. The music and the score were both so perfect. It had that jovial nature of the show and that hopefulness you see seeing Nick and Charlie on screen and the friendships that they have, and the little like editing touches with the sparkles and the leaves that are derived from the graphic novels. Like everything about it was just so detail oriented and perfect down to a T, and I I couldn't even pinpoint any flaws about it whatsoever. I think that where the show was so strong too was in its small details, like sometimes the lighting of a scene told you all you needed to know, or like the background colors they chose or the setting. And I think that when a show truly does do more showing than telling, that's when it's successful in portraying the feeling it's trying to portray, or the emotion it wants the audience to feel. Honestly, overall, I think that the show went really well with the spirit of the graphic novel. Like they both gave off the same vibes, you know? And I couldn't have asked for a better adaptation, in all honesty. I know that this was a shorter video and that I'm returning from a hiatus from BookTube, but I'm hoping to film weekly and post weekly. The plan is to film on Wednesdays and post on Thursdays, but we'll see how it pans out. I just hope you stick around, and yeah, I got some video ideas lined up. They'll be here soon enough, so just you hang on tight, and I'll be back soon. I'll be back next week if everything goes according to plan. See ya. What is this peace sign?